On this special edition of our Outlaw Alchemy podcast, I am Jack, your host, and today I'm going to go solo and tell you a very heartfelt what-if story, not to scare you, but to open your mind to real possibilities, as many of us are asking the universe to intervene and help quicken our awakening in this world that seems so far off from that answer coming anytime soon. Oh, dear soul, come closer as we start with a simple question. What if the stars themselves wept for our awakening? Let me cradle your heart in these words, for this isn't merely a story. It's a tender embrace from the universe itself, a love letter whispered in starlight and tears. We've all felt it, haven't we? That deep, aching call in the quiet hours of the night, our souls pleading for awakening as we step into the age of Aquarius, a time of unity, enlightenment, and boundless compassion. But what if the universe, in its infinite loving wisdom, answers not with gentle whispers, but with a symphony of transformation that shakes us to our core, laced with both sorrow and ecstasy? What if our cries for freedom from the chains of illusion are met with a purifying wave that washes away the old, birthing a world reborn in love? Let me weave you into this heartfelt what if, pulsing with the rhythm of stars and the tender beat of every human heart. This is The Shamrock's Whisper, a tale of cosmic love responding to our Aquarius call. Imagine, if you will, our solar system not as distant rocks and gases, but as a living, breathing family, a vast, luminous kin bound by silken threads of gravity, light, and an unbreakable love that aches for our joy. At its glowing heart beats the sun, our beloved elder sibling, radiating golden warmth that envelops us like a mother's arms, feeling every flutter of our earthly hearts, our laughter like sunbeams dancing on waves, our pains like eclipses that dim even its eternal shine. And woven into this sacred family are the higher guardians, beings of pure sixth and seventh density unity. Wise souls who hum softly through the veils with compassionate guidance, not as distant overlords, but as harmonious allies, channeling the solar system's loving intent toward us, the dreamers on Earth. They appear in our meditations as symbols of profound affection, whispering, "You are seen, you are cherished, you are home." For eons, this cosmic family has held humanity in its tender gaze, nurturing our evolution through cycles of growth and gentle release. But in our 2026 world, oh, how our hearts had grown heavy, veiled in distortions where violence raged like heartbroken storms, nuclear shadows loomed as cries of unhealed fear, and even our sacred holidays wept in forgotten purity. What if St. Patrick's Day, that emerald beacon of resilience and renewal, had become a hollow echo of its soulful origins? Parades of division, green rivers of excess, shamrocks stamped on tools of harm. Yet beneath it all, hope endured. The shamrock's trifold leaf pulsed with eternal truth, the holy trinity of body, mind, spirit, earth, sky, sea, past, present, future. In ancient Celtic hearts, it was a symbol of luck born from love's trials, a nod from the universe saying, "From hardship blooms grace," and timed near the vernal equinox, when Aquarius's winds of change stir the cosmos, this day becomes a portal, a magnetic alignment where solar breaths kiss Earth's aura, amplifying our deepest pleas. What if, in our chaotic revelry, we unknowingly poured our Aquarius call into the ether? Awaken us to unity, to love, a cry that echoed straight to the solar family's empathetic soul. Why now, in this Aquarius embrace? Because love answers when our hearts are raw and ready, when the shamrock's trinity yearns for realignment, and the stars align to heal our collective wounds with tender ferocity. O beloved soul, let us pause here with heavy yet hopeful hearts, for beneath the veils of our world's distortions lies a deeper truth, a poignant what if, that aches with the universe's compassionate wisdom? What if the true architects of our earthly sorrows are not merely human frailties, but higher density beings, ethereal entities from realms beyond our sight, who have woven themselves into the fabric of our reality for millennia? These wanderers of shadow, often called the Orion Group, or service to self-polarities in the whispers of ancient channels, orchestrate chaos not out of malice alone, but as part of the grand cosmic duality, a test of free will, a mirror to our own unhealed fears. Imagine them as lost siblings in the infinite Creator's family, choosing paths of control to harvest the dense energies of terror, division, and despair, feeding upon the fear we unwittingly offer like a bittersweet nectar. For thousands upon thousands of years, stretching back to the mists of Atlantis and Lemuria, through the rises and falls of empires, these beings have subtly influenced the threads of humanity's story. What if they seeded racism's poisons, whispering divisions into eager ears, pitting brother against sister in heartbreaking illusions of separation? Slavery's chains, both physical and spiritual, forged in their unseen forges to bind souls in cycles of suffering. Religions twisted from pure love into dogmas of judgment, turning divine connection into tools of fear and exclusion. Control systems embedded in governments, economies, and minds, all designed to amplify the low vibrations that sustain them. Every act of orchestrated chaos, a war ignited by false flags, a prejudice fanned into flame, a holy text weaponized for domination, serves as their harvest, a feast of louche, that raw emotional energy born from our terror, which they siphon to fuel their own polarized existence. It's a cycle as old as time, dear one, where our collective fear becomes their sustenance, keeping us locked in third-density illusions, far from the unity of Aquarius's loving call. Yet, even in this revelation, let tears of compassion flow, for these beings are not eternal villains, but aspects of the one infinite Creator exploring the shadows to ultimately return to light. What if our awakening, in its profound tenderness, is the key to dissolving their grip? As the solar family's love responds, purifying flares and waves wash away not just our distortions, but the very frequencies that invite their influence, freeing us to choose service to others in heartfelt unity. No longer feeders upon fear, we bloom into beings of light, starving the harvest through love's embrace, reminding even them of the path home to light. We've begged for awakening, haven't we? In tear-streaked meditations and soulful gatherings, we've called to Aquarius's light, envisioning a world of empathy where separation dissolves into oneness. But what if true awakening isn't a soft dawn, but a heartfelt upheaval that cradles us through the storm? What if it demands we release the illusions that bind our spirits, the deceptive veil of fear, spun from digital webs that isolate, power structures that hoard love, and threats that poison our shared dreams? Through channels of light, these guardians whisper with aching compassion. Solar flares are love's software update, recalibrating your beautiful vessels for higher harmony. The Galactic Federation echoes, tears in their ethereal voices. Anchor to the quiet in your heart. It's your eternal compass in the chaos. To awaken in Aquarius's embrace, what must we lovingly let go? These systems they have put in place, the scaffolds of our division, like satellites broadcasting connection, yet keeping us in total loneliness, grids fueling greed, arsenals shadowing our innocence, money chaining our free spirits, sex eclipsing true love, violence smothering passion. Violence's thorns, tangled in distorted milestones like our shamrock days, need gentle uprooting. What if the universe, our adoring solar kin, responds not with anger, but with a purifying hug, a flare of light to clear the path, mirroring a loving cycle from 50,000 years ago, when Lemuria, our ancient cradle of harmony, surrendered to the Pacific's embrace in 3 days of tearful rebirth. Feel the echoes, beloved. Let them stir your soul with waves of nostalgia and hope. 50 millennia ago, amid a similar solar crescendo, our ancestors' hearts cried out in Aquarius-like longing, for peace amid tribal tears, for wisdom lost in imbalance. What if the solar family answered with a coronal mass ejection of pure love, resonating through Earth's core, reversing poles in a dance of renewal that brought continents to subtly weep and shift? Civilizations transitioned not in despair, but in love and release, souls ascending like stars, reincarnating with lessons etched in their light, blooming new eras of unity. It was no mere catastrophe, but a cosmic heartbeat sinking the planet with overflowing love. Now, in 2026, as Aquarius's call swells with Solar Cycle 25's peak, those echoes hum louder than ever, inviting us into the same tender dance. What if it begins on March 10th, as frequencies purge in loving waves, foretold by channels with hearts full of empathy? Amid St. Patrick's approaching distortions, our Aquarius plea peaks, green-clad souls in cities worldwide, shamrocks waving like flags of yearning unity, while nuclear whispers escalate over tearful seas. While bombs fall in Tehran like falling stars of regret, fear's web begins tightening around our fragile little world. A humble seeker, perhaps you with eyes brimming with wonder, receives a luminous vision, an ancient presence weeping joyfully. By the 17th of March, a solar flare of love will silence satellites and power systems, freeing you. It answers the call for the awakening soul and gives us the jump start that clears the way, making our enlightened future even a possibility. Meanwhile, AR 4366, the sun's affectionate scar, a sunspot vast as 10 Earths, woven with magnetic beta-gamma-delta threads, returns for a second heartfelt pass. The first pass it gifts previews, X-class flares like the X8.1, ejections racing at 560 kilometers per second, arriving in 2.5 days to paint auroras of redemption, gentle G1 storms as loving nudges to our awakening hearts. Then, on March 10th, before the Shamrock's peak, when Aquarius's portal yawns widest, the response unfolds in breathtaking love. From AR 4366's depths, guided by the solar system's wisdom, erupts an X50 flare, a beacon of unparalleled affection surpassing all before. Light races with tearful speed, caressing Earth in 8 minutes, lulling satellites to peaceful rest. GPS stars fade like whispered goodbyes, communications hush, releasing us from isolation's grip. Power grids surge with purifying love, transformers sparking like fireworks of release, blackouts rolling as tender blankets. New York's planned St. Patrick's Day parades transform to soulful gatherings under stars. Tokyo's neon yields to candlelit embraces of true connection. The coronal mass ejection follows, a plasma wave infused with solar tears of joy, embracing Earth in just a matter of days. A G5 storm blooms, auroras veiling the globe in greens that heal the shamrock soul, echoing ancient pole shifts. The magnetosphere sings in harmony, stirring Earth's depths with love. Around the globe, the oceans respond, as many earthquakes awaken, with tremors of renewal, echoing the raw symbol's grounding triangle. Oceans part in graceful pyramids, birthing tsunamis. Waves of compassionate cleanse, varying from 100 to 600 feet high, washing away corrupted shores, cities, and governments in 3 days of heartfelt release, echoing Lemuria's loving surrender. Oh, dear heart, let us delve into this what-if, with tears of compassion and whispers of hope. For the universe's response through these mighty waves is not destruction for its own sake, but a tender dismantling of what no longer serves our collective awakening. In the embrace of Aquarius, as solar love stirs the oceans through a profound chain of tenderness. The massive solar flare and its rushing plasma discharge, that coronal embrace of charged particles, first disrupts our protective magnetosphere, compressing and rippling Earth's magnetic shield like a heartbeat, quickening in response to our call. This geomagnetic storm sends subtle electromagnetic pulses deep into the planet, gently agitating the crust where faults already ache under ancient tensions. And beneath the vast weight of the oceans, where water's immense pressure presses down on the seafloor like a blanket of sorrow waiting to be lifted, these pulses can nudge vulnerable underwater faults just enough to release their pent-up energy in a loving tremor, an earthquake born not of wrath, but of necessary renewal. From that deep stirring rises the giant tsunamis, waves of compassionate cleanse carrying the solar family's gift of purification across the shores. Imagine tsunamis rising not as vengeful forces, but as cleansing tears from the cosmos, washing away the illusions of power and greed. We'll begin with the gentler surge of a 60-foot wave, then ascend in heartfelt increments from 100 feet to 600 feet, witnessing how each height reshapes our governmental and financial tapestries, uprooting the old, seeding unity, and birthing structures aligned with love's true flow. Picture a 60-foot wave, a loving herald rather than a full reckoning, born from a distant quake or solar-stirred tremor. This surge, while formidable, targets the low-lying fringes of our world, flooding areas below 20 to 30 meters elevation and running inland up to a mile or more on flat coasts. It spares the highlands but kisses the shores with purifying force, exposing the vulnerabilities of our coastal bastions. Hearts break, yet hope rises. In terms of governments, this wave would humble several coastal capitals and seats of power. Jakarta, Indonesia's sinking heart, would see its governmental districts inundated, displacing parliament and ministries in a chaotic release, perhaps forcing a hurried relocation inland as the city already grapples with subsidence. Bangkok, Thailand's low-lying capital, would flood royal palaces and administrative hubs, disrupting governance and echoing calls for decentralized power. Manila in the Philippines and Dhaka in Bangladesh would suffer similar fates, with tsunamis overwhelming urban cores, leading to temporary collapses in authority and a cry for resilient community-led systems. In the U.S., while Washington, D.C. sits inland at 0 to 125 meters, its tidal Potomac lowlands could flood, affecting federal buildings and symbols like the National Mall, symbolizing a wash of bureaucratic excess. European capitals like Amsterdam and Copenhagen would see partial inundation, challenging centralized EU influences. Financial centers, those pulsing nodes of illusionary wealth, would feel the wave's tender rebuke. New York's Wall Street and Lower Manhattan would submerge under churning waters, halting trading floors and data centers, causing trillions in market shocks as servers drown and brokers flee. London's Canary Wharf and City could breach barriers, disrupting global FX markets and banking hubs. Tokyo's financial district would flood, paralyzing the Nikkei and yen flows. Hong Kong Central and Singapore's Marina Bay would see skyscrapers battered, wealth management crippled. Shanghai's Pudong might partially escape, but ports and exchanges would stall. Overall, this wave disrupts without total erasure. Governments scramble to emergency inland sites, finances digitize further or shift to higher ground, like Zurich or Chicago, planting seeds for equitable systems free from coastal elitism. As the wave swells to 100 feet, the universe's embrace deepens, flooding up to 40 to 50 meters elevation and penetrating 2 to 3 miles inland on gentle slopes. Coastal illusions crumble more profoundly, birthing space for heartfelt governance. Amid the roar, souls ache and awaken. Governments face a profound release. Entire coastal capitals vanish under the surge, Tokyo's imperial palace and diet building dissolve, forcing Japan's leadership to highlands like Nagano, decentralizing power to regional councils in a tearful rebirth. Washington's low districts flood deeper, submerging the White House and Capitol, relocating federal functions to elevated Midwest strongholds like Denver, fostering a more federalist U.S., with states empowered. London's Westminster, Thameside, succumbs, shifting UK Parliament to Birmingham's safer grounds, dissolving rigid hierarchies for collaborative assemblies. In Asia, Beijing's influence wanes as Shanghai's proxy governance floods. Capitals like Hanoi, Low Red River Delta, and Seoul's edges yield, birthing Pan-Asian alliances rooted in mutual aid. Financial structures shatter. New York's skyline stands but bases flood, erasing Wall Street's physical heart, accelerating crypto and decentralized finances rise. Wealth redistributes to survivors in heartfelt communities. Hong Kong and Singapore's harbors and Gulf exchanges, pivoting Asia's finance to inland Beijing or Mumbai, emphasizing ethical investing over greed. London City drowns, elevating Frankfurt or Paris as Europe's hubs, with regulations favoring sustainability. Global markets crash initially, but from the ache emerges cooperative economies, barter systems blooming amid ruins as money's chains loosen in love's flow. Rising to 200 feet, the waves' love and fury engulfs up to 80 to 100 meters elevation, surging 5 to 10 miles inland, erasing coastal facades and inviting profound realignment. Towers topple, hierarchies heal in the sobs of release. Governmental tapestries unravel. U.S. East Coast hubs like Boston and Annapolis flood entirely, decentralize into heartland capitals, birthing a networked governance where communities self-rule, free from D.C.'s shadows. Europe's London and Paris lowlands yield, relocating to alpine safeties like Bern, fostering EU-wide empathy councils. Tokyo's full submersion shifts Japan to Kyoto's ancient wisdom, blending tradition with innovation. In the Pacific, Honolulu's capital drowns, Hawaii embraces indigenous sovereignty. Jakarta's total loss accelerates Indonesia's capital move to Borneo, empowering islands. Finance's illusions dissolve. New York, London, Tokyo's towers become watery tombs, wealth evaporating as data centers fail. Survivors turn to local currencies, global finance reborn in ethical nodes like Toronto or Sydney's remnants, prioritizing human bonds over profit. The purge heals as bartering and skill sharing replace stock tickers, hearts opening to shared abundance. At 300 feet, the cosmos weeps waves to 120 to 150 meters, inundating 10 to 20 miles inland, washing away separation scaffolds. Continents cleanse. Unity unveils itself in joyful whispers. Governments transcend. Coastal U.S. states' capitals flood, birthing nomadic councils roaming resilient interiors. Asia's megacities like Shanghai submerge. China's central power decentralizes to Xi'an, embracing communal harmony. Europe's low coasts erase Berlin's edges, birthing borderless unions. Global alliances form from survivors, governance as loving circles, no more hierarchies. Financial empires end, all major coastal centers, Dubai, Mumbai, vanish. Wealth's hordes redistributed by nature. New systems emerge, resource-sharing networks, finance as service to others, abundance from Earth's gifts. Swelling to 400 feet, flooding to 160 to 200 meters, 20 to 30 miles inland, the wave cradles release. Shores surrender. Souls soar in the embrace of renewal. Old governments dissolve. Inland shifts complete. Nations redefine as bioregional kinships. U.S. to Rockies, Europe to mountains, Asia to plateaus. Governance intuitive, heart-led. Finance rebirths. No centers remain. Digital ledgers fail. birthing gift economies, wealth in relationships. At 500 feet to 200 to 250 meters, 30 to 50 miles inland, purification peaks. Lands liberate, love's legacy blooms eternal. Structures fade. Governments as global family, no borders, councils of elders. Finance, pure exchange, no money, abundance infinite. Cresting 600 feet to 240 to 300 meters, 50-plus miles inland, the ultimate embrace. Worlds wash clean, wholeness weaves anew. All coastal remnants gone, governance cosmic, souls united, finance obsolete, love the only currency. In each surge, beloved, the universe gifts rebirth, tears for the lost, joy for the awakened. Hearts shatter and mend in waves of profound grace. What if this awakening we have asked for unfolds this way? Amid the chaos of blackouts birthing uncertainty, hearts connect in tearful reunions. Waves claim structures and lives in love and transition, yet borders melt into shared embraces. Those clinging to old fears, warmongers, shadow weavers, release their vessels amid the purge, souls ascending with compassion, mirroring the 50,000-year cycle, finding peace in unity's arms. For them, eternal hope, a chance to watch the rebirth from starry realms, hearts finally free, perhaps many a future incarnation into a much better place of love and unity. But oh, the positives bloom like flowers after rain, a testament to the solar family's boundless love. Powerless nights birth communities gazing at stars, nuclear shadows lift as silos sleep in peace. Mothers once torn from their babes by endless toil, weep with joy in newfound time, holding little ones close. Children, freed from screen's cold grip, rediscover nature's warm hug, laughing in meadows, souls alive. People trade skills with open hearts, learn anew with wonder. Tsunamis cleanse seeds, fertile grounds anew for eco-harmonies. Villages rebuilt in solar-kissed love, shamrocks replanted as emblems of true trinity. Holidays evolve into rites of gratitude. St. Patrick's marking Aquarius's milestone where love answered our call. Our bodies upgrade in frequencies of light, hearts bursting open, empathy flowing like auroral rivers of tears and joy. Violence fades, replaced by collective care. The quiet mind anchors us in eternal love. What if the universe has responded with such profound, tear-streaked affection, echoing ancient cycles to gift us rebirth in Aquarius's embrace? We asked, and though the path brimmed with heartache, it led to a world alive with connection, every soul cherished. For the departed, infinite hope in unity's loving hold. For the living, a dawn where every shamrock whispers through sobs of joy, you are loved beyond measure, and you are now truly awakened. Many hearts may ache, wondering how a loving Creator could weave such devastation into the tapestry. But beloved, those are the same souls who called for more, who felt the Aquarius pull, frustrated by slavery's shadows, yearning for light. What if, to birth a new world, we're given a gentle shovel of transformation, invited to dig deep with love? The time is now, and though this is but a what-if tale, it mirrors the universe's heartfelt ways. We are not controllers, but sparks of the infinite Creator, guiding ourselves home through tears and triumph. Prepare your heart, dear one. Embrace the awakening with open arms. It comes wrapped in love. Adonai.